story of injustice, which has been given new life by author Batt Humphreys in the form of a novel. Batt has new life himself. He was a senior producer right here at The Early Show for 15 years before heading south to write Dead Weight, about the last hanging in the state of South Carolina back in 1910. The book is now out in paperback, and we're happy to welcome back Batt to The Early Show. Hi, Batt.
Hey, Julie.
All right, tell me, Ray, how did you turn from a hard news producer to an author?
I think you can't really take the journalist out of the boy, so to speak. And even though I was walking away from this field that I had been in, you can't turn away from a story when a very interesting one comes along. And this story, even though it was 100 years old, was a headline I couldn't turn away from.
How did you find this story? Like, why did you pick this one? How did it?
So the research had been done, a large part of the research of the story. The trial transcripts had been researched. And what I found was that there was a murder, an arrest, an execution, and a hurricane that hit Charleston. And you would find that these are all connected. And even 100 years after this crime and this execution, the hurricane is remembered and called after the young man as retribution on Charleston. And a century later, the fact that that's still remembered, that resonated with me.
I mean, the most important thing is that he was wrongly accused and executed for a crime he just flat out did not commit.
The young man was a week from his wedding to a young woman, very much in love, very happy. He was going to a store to buy his wedding suit and was picked up in the street just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm telling you, when I was reading this, it was like every page. I stayed up the whole night and read it in one sitting. It was that good. I was so impressed.
I'm surprised you didn't send me an email for keeping you up all night.
But even though it's based on a real-life story, you build a lot of fiction around it. How did you decide what would be fact and what would be fiction?
Well, the thing about the fiction, I felt that it needed to be written as a novel, because otherwise what you have here is a story of a Jim Crow lynching, in essence. I hate to say it, but it's not like it's any problem finding those stories in the South in this time period. What I wanted to do was to take it, add some fictional characters, broaden the story, use Charleston as a set piece, kind of like John Brant did in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but two of the fictional characters are your protagonist, Hal Hinson,
yes,
who's a reporter.
Yes. And
when I was reading it, I pictured a young Harrison Ford wearing the hat, and I pictured his love interest, who's also fictional, Randy, as Jasmine Guy. Did you picture anyone when you were writing this?
Are you casting?
No, I pictured it as a movie. Who did you?
No, I did have some thoughts about it. I was thinking of a younger Robert Redford.
Oh, yeah.
He was, he has that journalistic kind of look and feel to him. And, of course, the female is a very sexy woman. It's Angelina Jolie.
I will see her in anything. I like your casting a little bit better than mine. In the final second,